The Uncharted series has become a sort of runaway hit for Sony. The PlayStation 3 was starved for content, with good exclusives releasing few and far between, while Metal Gear Solid 4 was but a distant ship off on the horizon. News of veteran developer Naughty Dog making a Gears of War inspired cover shooter in the style of Indiana Jones was no doubt enticing to fans looking for anything new to sink their teeth into. Uncharted: Drake's Fortune follows Nathan Drake and Victor Sullivan, two treasure hunters who've got a lead on the legendary El Dorado. Along for the ride is Elena Fisher, a journalist who'll do anything for a story, but might just be in over her head on this one. While trekking through thick jungles, ancient underground temples, and flooded city ruins, Nathan and the gang will have to fight off pirates and mercenaries who are after the treasure for themselves.
Okay, what's going on?
Pirates.
Pirates?
Yeah, the modern kind. They don't take prisoners. At least not male prisoners.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Nathan is the wisecracking explorer who's in it for adventure, while Sullivan's the rugged old guy with a chip on his shoulder.
What a warm and homey place, huh?
Well, not quite what you were expecting, huh?
Yeah. Where's all the damn gold?
This place was picked clean centuries ago.
No good limey pirate.
No, it wasn't Drake. Check this out. Looks like the Spanish got here before he did. What the hell, Sully?
Nate, I'm not looking for a lousy piece of tin. I'm up to my eyeballs in debt. I was really counting on this one.
Elena acts as a third wheel of sorts for when Sullivan's not around, but they all play off each other really well.
You alright?
Nothing that years of therapy won't fix.
Well, if it isn't the beautiful and talented Elena Fisher.
Flattery will get you screen time.
Yeah, I'm more of a behind-the-scenes kind of guy. Victor Sullivan.
For Christ's sakes.
The heroes are countered by some stereotypical villains, like a smug pirate.
Hey, Drake.
Eddie Raja. I should have guessed.
Fascinating document, huh? Seems like this Sir Francis was in my line of work.
Don't flatter yourself, Eddie.
Always ready to be enemies, eh?
As well as a super rich English mafioso type gentleman with a heavy accent.
See, your friend owes me money, Mr. Drake. A lot of money. So when he told me that you two were onto something big, the find of a lifetime, he said, well, I was intrigued. But he's made grand promises before, haven't you, Victor? And here we are again. Another fool's errand.
Jeez, does he always go on like this?
It's about as cliche as you can get with one of these kind of setups, but the writing and acting are top notch. Give this script to any other company, and I'm not quite sure they'd be able to pull off the same level of charm. But Naughty Dog managed to prove themselves as masters of this craft. The story is a little generic and certainly nothing you haven't already seen in your typical Indiana Jones, The Mummy, or other summer blockbuster adventure. There are a couple of twists that are subtly hinted at along the way.
Something's been here since a trap was sprung.
Something or someone?
Although the ending might rub some people the wrong way for being a little bit out there. Still, it's a very enjoyable story. It's not just great to watch in cutscenes either. Everything about this game comes off as incredibly beautiful. The way that light shines through a building or foliage sways as the player walks through a jungle. There's a ton of attention to detail around every corner. It does get a little bit dark in some places, and attacking enemies far off in the distance without a sniper rifle can get annoying, but it never gets so bad as to ruin the game. No, what does ruin the game is the gameplay. It hurts me to say it, but as fun as the game is to watch, it isn't anywhere near as much fun to play. Gameplay is broken up into two main categories of exploration and combat, with some vehicle segments thrown in to break up the pace. Nathan navigates the world around him and tries to figure out the next thing he needs to do to proceed, usually by free climbing up tall walls and leaping across deadly gaps. Occasionally, he'll need to figure out a puzzle, with some pretty blatant hints written out for him in his handy-dandy notebook. It's not so bad at first, but these parts of the game really drag on after a while. I mean, yeah, this looks awesome, but all I'm doing is holding the left joystick to the side and occasionally pressing the X button. This doesn't count as platforming, nor does it require any sort of skill at all. The player can sometimes go off the beaten path in order to happen upon some lost treasure, but it's a real small addition that doesn't fix anything wrong with the game. I wouldn't make a big deal of it if I didn't feel like it took so much time, but halfway through the game, I felt so sick and tired of climbing.
Wasn't I just out here?
If there were at least multiple paths to go down, or if the game made this more engaging somehow, but it's not. It's pointless, it takes forever, and it should have been significantly shortened, or otherwise regulated to just cutscenes or something. As much as I'd like to say that this is Uncharted's low point, it somehow gets even worse. Gun combat is serviceable, but it's impossible not to compare it to Gears of War, released a year earlier. While Gears of War only had a handful of creative weapons and enemies, they all felt different, powerful, and enjoyable to use and fight against. Uncharted's weapons are all pistols, machine guns, and shotguns, with the occasional grenade launcher and sniper rifle for special situations. And while they have slightly different ammo capacities and stopping power, they all still play identical to each other. None of the guns even have any recoil or a significant variance in accuracy or something to make each weapon stand out. Same goes for the enemies, which are mostly pirates and mercenaries repeated 100 times over. No boss fights either, just enemies who use the same guns as you for the whole game. Sometimes there'll be this one guy with a helmet, meaning he has to take 2 headshots instead of 1 to go down. But it's so minor, it's barely even worth mentioning. Since this game is a cover shooter, hiding behind walls plays an important role. Chest high cover and hanging cover work fine, but using wall cover isn't as smooth. The camera swings around to the side and throws off the player's aim, which would have otherwise been closer to the center of the screen. So I thought, why not try strafing in and out of cover instead? And what do you know? I can shoot through walls.
Doesn't look good.
No, Nathan, it doesn't look good. But you know what? Elena hints at this in the story.
Traditional sandstone, brick, and stucco. Limestone mortar, huh?
Yeah, that's right. It's just the right consistency for bullets to go right through solid walls. These aren't just select areas either. This is literally the entire game. But isn't that cheating? Nah, of course not. See? The enemies do it too. I could have dealt with the lame exploration sections and the uninspired combat, but on top of everything, there's this? This pretty much ruins the whole game for me. Hilariously, the crushing and brutal difficulties are so ridiculous that it's almost necessary to glitch the game in order to win. I get that challenge is one thing, but if I'm dying seconds after loading a checkpoint, then there's probably an issue here. Even if you ignore the glitches and you just play the game straight on a lower difficulty, you still have a pretty boring adventure to slog through, and it feels like it goes on forever. Which is crazy considering how short this game is. I played through it on the crushing difficulty, and despite dying what felt like 1,000 times, I still beat the game in just 8 hours. But man, those credits could not come soon enough. The part that saddens me the most is that I can't help but smile whenever a cutscene gets going. The acting is just phenomenal, as are the motion capture and facial animation. Visually, this is an impressive and top quality product, but without any solid gameplay to back it up, it's questionable if there's any value to playing this game at all. This should have been a movie or a TV show or something. In fact, that's exactly what this feels like. It feels like the video game adaptation to a Hollywood production. Naughty Dog hit a lot of the right notes, but not where it counts. I don't know what reviewers were thinking back in 2007 to give this game so much critical acclaim, but it's not what it's hyped up to be. You're much better off going to the movies than playing this.
Strangers trying to kill me, leave my map on a burning plane. Plane is missing. Most likely dead. That's great. It's a great start, Nate.
Thank you for watching my review of Drake's Fortune. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe.